Okay, sound check, sound check, sound check. Let's see how we sound. Hopefully we can be heard. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were ready. You're not showing on my Twitch.
Oh, we just
There it
went
is.
live. Okay. So it might be a little slow. Hopefully we can be
Your
heard.
audio's fine.
I'm good?
Yep.
Okay. So today we're gonna work on something that I've been working on off stream, and I forgot to start recording it like I wanted to do. Completely forgot all about it. Every time I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna record working on this, and then when I got a significant amount into it, I was like, oh shit, I was gonna record that. I was like, that's okay, we can pick up in the next part. Forgot again. So this is how far I am on it, and I figured, you know, if I don't do it on stream and try to finish it now, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back to working on it, so here we are. This is where we're at. And I've been trying to work my way forward as much as I can. Well, jeez, let's not spell that. Well, we'll see how we go here. So, it's a little hard to tell with the stage that it's in and the color that underpainting is at the moment, but we're attempting to do two flamingo-y guys. Where's my keyboard tray padding here? Got a pool noodle that I cut in half. I cut a chunk of it off and then I cut it in half. And I've got that around the one corner of my keyboard tray because of how, the keyboard tray didn't come with the desk. We added it on, so that way I don't have my knee slamming into the corner of that, because that gets a little sore. Alright, so we're gonna just kind of pick up where I left off. We won't be streaming Diablo tonight. Husband's not feeling that great. However, I might stream some oil painting, maybe. We'll see how I'm feeling after dinner. So Saturday nights are always a bonus stream, if you will, if we manage to get that far. We'll see how we're doing. This is just getting a second coat pass on this guy. Because I wasn't super happy with that one coat. Really feel like we needed another go. It's a little too uneven, if you will. Alright. But yeah, we'll see where I'm at. Headache wise and everything come tonight. And we'll also see how hot it is in here, because we're under a heat advisory. They put us under one kind of late afternoon yesterday, which was kind of a surprise. And then it was just blanket straight through, like yesterday afternoon through tonight. Like, they didn't issue a second one for today. They ran it full through. I was like, oh. And oh, it is gross outside. It is so humid. And I don't really understand why it's so humid because it hasn't really rained. I don't remember the last time we had a brief oh, glasses, stop it. Alright, I think I might be up without the glasses for a little bit today. I can kind of squint and see the chat, but I definitely understand the heat advisory because, ooh, it's so sticky. We went for a walk last night and halfway through it was awful. Like, we didn't think it would be that bad at that point of the night. But we should have known with how warm it felt in our room last night that it was worse outside. But when we stepped outside, it kind of didn't feel all that much different. But we were sticky. The time we got back, it was not a fun time. Don't spill the paint, woman. Let's not. In fact, glasses, you're gonna come over here just to keep me from spilling paint on you. While I get the edge here. So I hope everybody's having a good day. They're actually doing our town's 4th of July celebration today. I don't understand, I guess because 4th of July is on a Thursday? I don't freaking know. Someone make it make sense. But then all of the towns surrounding us are doing fireworks different nights. So the city is doing their fireworks show tonight, right? There's a church putting on a fireworks show tomorrow night. I'm like, okay. You certainly got a lot of donations to be doing a fireworks show. Interesting. And then the surrounding towns are going to be doing their own fireworks stuff. Yes, we are upside down right now. We're going to be upside down for a few minutes. Got a fuzzy. Fuzz happens sometimes. Or so it seems. No, I haven't painted the flamingos yet because I wanted to get the area surrounding them done first. So that I can correct it a little bit easier when I inevitably mess something up here. Because it's me and my hands like to twitch, so. It's called trying to plan around my quirks, shall we say. So it'll probably just be easier in the long run. I did not think I had put quite that much paint on our lid here, but certainly seems to be spreading out to look like we did. So I know the doggos aren't going to be happy later. I'm not sure how the outside cats are going to react, because some of those get really loud. Because they're doing it a little bit closer again this year. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. They changed the location. And a couple of the ones they did last time were so loud we thought that there had been an accident. Because like the whole house shuddered. I was like, oh my, what the hell? So can't we get like some of those like silent fireworks? I'm not sure how that happens for them to, it's probably just chemical reactions, but I'm surprised it doesn't make noise. But hey, anything that's quieter, I'm all for. I'm easily startled to begin with. So anything, oh, my head's in the way, of course it is. Sorry about that. Like I said, I like to have my nose right down in there. But you all don't want to see the top of my head. So this is a tree trunk right here. Come on, Fuzzy. No. Get off of there. That's technically should be coming down into here. So that's gonna be green. Do I want to put brown back in there? I think I decided I was gonna go dark green. I did not do a pre-sketch on this. I just kind of went for it. I think I had a reference photo of the flamingos at least. And I just kind of stuck them into my own background here. Kind of surprised this tree is taking quite so many coats to get in here. and get happified, but alright, I'm gonna take a little bit of this lighter coffee color. Don't think I need all that much of it. So if it would like cooperate, that would be super great. Oh my goodness, why am I so fumble-handed today? Holy hell. That's annoying. My goodness. Gonna get a little bit more of our cafe au lait color. Now we probably technically wouldn't see too much in the way of lighter colors on this guy. Since the sun is in the background behind it. So we're not going to go too crazy with it here. Just kind of wanted a little bit to break up the solid darkness here. Actually having trouble seeing the color from the light glare. You know it's warm when the paint's drying that fast. Like, we just mixed this color. Just mixed this color. That came out weird. I am trying to get another quick line of fresh brown, like the dark brown, on that outer edge here. so that we can try to blend them a little bit better here. Honestly, I probably should have did this in the past that we just did, but at the same time, I did want to make sure that we were looking okay coat-wise. On the other one, because it was a little thin still. Alright. So I don't want this to get too light down in here. Since it would be a little bit shadowed. From everything else going on in here. So I'm just gonna barely touch it. I'll tell you, it certainly feels like it's quite an allergy day. It is pretty windy. Now, last night they were saying there was a chance of thunderstorms tonight. Right around the time that they were going to be trying to do the fireworks show tonight. And I was like, oh. Well, that's interesting. But they have since backed off from that and changed it to being later. I'm not all that surprised they changed it. Our local weather people are always changing the timeline on stuff. We'll see, because I think they've got us in a chance of severe storms for at some point on Sunday. So I don't know if Sunday night's fireworks are happening. Like, we never had these multi-days of fireworks up in Jersey. Like, if there was a show, a couple different casinos would do one, and everybody would go out on one of the main roads that goes into Atlantic City, and they would find a parking lot to park in, and you would have to get there like an hour and a half early almost to get a parking spot, but people would, And we did, at times we'd go in, like, we would bring snacks and get ice cream and stuff, and we'd sit there and then we would wait, and then you would watch the fireworks show, and then you'd have to take like a half an hour to another hour to wait for everybody to bail out of the parking lot in order to get out yourself. But then that was it, and you went home. Because they're doing fireworks shows before the 4th of July this year, and then they're letting people set their own fireworks off, and I'm just like, what is this madness? Okay, now I don't have a point of reference here. So we're just kind of winging it as far as our background friends go here. Our leaves. So I think we need to find a dark green. Here we go. Here's a hunter green. We're going to start to fill in our background colors. Oh, that came out as a mess. And is now living in the brown. Yay! Well, I mean, that brown was drying anyway, so... Alright, so this color... I am going to kind of put in the background. In fact, I might have to darken it up with some of that earth brown just to give us shadowy impressions of stuff that we can't really make out back here. So that might not have been too bad. And then hopefully that will remain that dark as we come back in here. I did end up putting the flamingo statue that we made on the Planet Zoo live stream yesterday up on the workshop. I doubt I'll get any traction on it, but we've put it up there. And we'll see what happens with it. Alright, where else do we want to go with you? That looks like a good spot in there. Alright, so I'm probably gonna have to turn this guy so we can get in here on the side of him. Alright. Move our water over there. Oh, how are we gonna do this? Alright, I guess we'll do it this way. I don't want to completely have him off screen for it, because it's going to take me a minute. So I'm trying to mix this earth brown and our hunter green here. Just a bit. If only in the hopes that when I come back for another pass on this green, it's gonna need another pass, that it's gonna look as dark as we are shooting for here. Alright, I do need to turn this just a minute, unfortunately. Do apologize on that. There's no real way for me to get this side section done without doing that. Alright. So just bear with me a few minutes here. Can't see us at all. Okay. That's in part to how zoomed in we are. Alright, I am getting this side done as fast as we can here. But unfortunately, I am not Inspector Gadget. And my head and neck don't turn that way. So we'll just have to stare at the oddly placed painting for a moment. Okay, and yes, we are back upside down. least for a few minutes. Sometimes these colors mix better as we are putting them down than they do on the brush. Sometimes. Looks like CoffeeBot and Stream Elements have joined us today. So let me pop this guy up again. Maybe we can get a better angle on him this way. Maybe we can see what we're doing a little bit better. All right. So we are not going to the fireworks tonight. I can do without dealing with that Sea of Humanity, thanks. Husband's more than welcome to go if he wants. But I don't know if he's gonna bother. If I had noise canceling headphones, maybe I would consider it. But I don't, so. He's welcome to it. Though with as hot as it's gonna be, I doubt he's gonna want to go. Wow, that paint is getting stringy. Well, this paint is pretty old. I'm surprised it's in as good of a painting condition as it is. When I stop and think about how many years I've had this paint, it's been a hot minute. Okay. this sorted here. We're getting there. Slowly. Ever so slowly. So I'm probably gonna have to do one more pass on our hunter green, more than likely, because it's a little streaky in spots. Okay, where else are we? Alright, so we're down here. Both hands in motion are never a good thing for me. One hand is tasked with one thing and the other hand's tasked with another. Someone doesn't end up doing what they're supposed to be doing there. Okay. Bit more of our brown here. Hey, desk and elbow. We've already introduced you to each other multiple times. You don't need to keep introducing each other as if it's the first time you've met. Because I know for a fact it is not the first time that you've met. So I would appreciate it greatly if you could just, I don't know, maybe not do that. Okay. More of our green here. Okay. So I'm tilted up at the moment. As we paint around our feathers here. All right. And then spot there. You all right? Oh, that's a flower there. Okay. I didn't, add in the leggy. Apparently. So it would seem. So I'm just working on getting our dark greenish brown mixture popped into here. Kind of hard to mix that one-handed. I guess I could have put this down to grab that. Okay, I'm getting nervous with you over there now. So keep hitting the bowl that all of our other little supplies are in for our needle felting. Hey, look at that. We used almost all. Almost. Of the brown that we put out. So that's fun. Alright. So let's pick this guy back up here. I mean, the hunter green was going to be a little bit dark on its own, but it wasn't quite as dark as I wanted it to be. So then I'm going to go over it with another, over this with another pass of just the hunter green, and then I think we'll be looking pretty good here. And this is not the same paint lid that we've been using. This is a different one that I need to clean, because I forgot to clean last week's. I still have to prime the dowel rod. What the hell am I gonna do with that? I don't think I necessarily need it for tomorrow. I guess if it comes to it, we'll have to prime it on stream, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to need it this weekend. Like, I don't think we will. Sorry, I didn't mean to pull it entirely out of frame there. There was a spot I wasn't sure if I had gotten. It was being a little bit fussy. Sorry if that came across. Husband's in the other room. So I did not know I needed to mute. Okay. I'll clean up my finger there. Okay. I'm going to rinse our brush here. As well as we can. And we'll dry him. Okay, now I'm going to grab some of our straight hunter green here. And work on filling this slot in. This is mainly to clean up any splotchy or streakiness that I did not want. Now, this guy is so tiny. I was gonna omit him and just figure it out, but I guess we should. Try to fill him in there. So the point of this was to get it a little bit like shadowed and just dark all back into here. Excuse me. Like I said, allergies. I can feel it in my voice. Okay. So we were getting these background bits done. When are you going to the store?
I don't know, at some point.
So I'm just trying to lay this in here. So that brown definitely did help darken this guy up. So that's good. Alright, hopefully we're not completely undoing our efforts here. By coming in with this secondary layer. Of just our hunter green. I don't think we are, but we'll see. Just trying to get this side here. Really? I've gone over this like 3 times. The paint does not want to grab in that specific spot for some reason. Sorry. Tapped the microphone. Sorry. That had to have been really loud. Okay. So I'm gonna lift this guy up here. I might have to put down some more of this green so that we can get through. This side, or this section here. I don't know just yet. I will say, I am getting quite the headache starting. I took some Benadryl earlier. I don't think it's from that. I actually took that instead of taking something else. But I think I need to take something else. So give me 1 second. One second. Bear with me, please. Oh, it's a brand new bottle. Okay. This might take... Oh no. Okay, cool. They put a little arrowy guy in there for where I had to open it. Alright. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Sorry. If I don't take something now. Then there definitely won't be a bonus stream tonight. We'll see how this does for us. Hey, sweetie. I have no idea where he is.
You called?
Yeah, could you hand me the Vaseline? Thanks. It is so hot and so dry. I've got areas drying out that shouldn't be drying out. I had a horrendous nosebleed last night out of nowhere. That kind of caught me off guard. Let's see here. We're getting there on this color. We'll probably have time to start the next bit of foliage here. So this is just background shadows. There might be plants in here that we just can't see because of other plants blocking them, or silhouette from flamingos, not silhouette, shadow from flamingos blocking it. Getting this filled in here. And I'm paying attention to the sides somewhat, because not everybody frames things. Framing stuff can be expensive, especially if it's not a standard size. I like to have my stuff just be hang ready. Or display ready, however anybody may want to do it. I don't know if I'm keeping this one yet, or if it's gonna end up in the art giveaway for the next one that we do. We're gonna need to get a bigger table. I think if we do another one. We'll see. Kind of depends on if we end up doing another giveaway. So, I don't think I've got enough paint out. I think we're going to be just short. That's not cool. I didn't really need that much more of this paint. I mean, I have more of it. That's not the issue. I just didn't want to put a whole lot more out, so I might try to take it straight from the bottle here. Let me shake it real good so there's some in the lid for us to pull from. Okay. Open that carefully, because there's still a good amount of paint in that bottle. Ow. That elbow had not met that part of the desk before, so I'll let them have that greeting. Not like I had any say in the matter, but I'm not gonna bitch them out for it. So I might not do a lot of detail on the edges, but I would at least like to have a clean, somewhat finished edge to it. Alright. Now, these guys in here, oh, hello, Mr. Fuzzy, you don't belong in my brush. These guys here, I can start them at the very least. Just get their base coat in. And then we will go from there. Because these guys, I'm trying to figure out where I can touch this because I've got the side all wet. Because like the rest of the leaves on these guys are intersecting our flamingos. So I think I'm going to hold off on the ones touching the mingos. But that doesn't mean that we don't have to or can't touch any of it. And I feel like these stems are going to need a couple of passes, along with their leaves and such. So this will just be one less bit of layering that we're going to have to do on these guys. So I guess I could have poured some more of that out. Onto the plate, but that's okay. The paint lid is working just fine for right now. And this is probably going to get mixed with another color. And we end up doing the final touch-ups on them. So at the moment, we're just fine. Although I suppose with that mentality, we could just hit up the ones that are just barely touching the flamingo. Just to get our base coat in here. Probably should. Alright, that's gonna be a flower. Down in there. I don't know what color flower yet. I'm not sure what color would play off well with the flamingo there. I could do like a white hibiscus with maybe some red tinges to it. But we'll see how we do. Might have to look up what shades of, or what colors of hibiscus, or what colors hibiscus come in. There we go. Good job, brain. I believed in you. Brain knew what it wanted to say, the mouth wasn't quite on board. We were getting lost in transit, apparently. Alright, I'm still pretty happy with how the entry building is coming along for our Planet Zoo build that we're working on for Tappy Feet Children's Zoo. That is coming along pretty well. Okay. That is not done. Please keep that in mind. That is not done. That was a first pass. Alright. Let's see, I've got a couple of ridges in this cup, but not many. So sometimes it's a little bit harder to get the paint all out. on that particular one. Okay. So let's put the lid back on that bottle before I spill one. Alright, so let's see. What color do we want to grab next? I've got some greens somewhere here. Still sitting out and about. Spring green. Oop, dropped green. Did I put them all away? Didn't think I had. Maybe I did put some away. I know where blue can go away. I know that for a fact. Ooh. The body is clicking and popping. And not in a good way. Alright. Let's see here. What are you? Ooh, you're fun. We'll take you. And you. And there should be another one of you here somewhere. Like 100%. Okay, well, you'll do. I don't know why I didn't see you. On the table, I didn't think I had put you away. Maybe I did. I mean, it's possible. Oh no, I still have you. You just fell over. That's right. Oh, you've got a dust bunny too. Wonderful. Okay. Alrighty. What time is it? Okay. Oh, my rug's all bunched up here. No, chair, stop. Stop, chair. This throw rug doesn't like to stay in place. We tried duct taping it, and I guess we failed because it didn't really take. Surprise. Okay, so let's take some olivey green and some foliage. There you go, please. Thank you. Little pink crunchies that you'll get sometimes on the top of the bottle. I have no idea if that was a bug or if that was a piece of fuzz that just went flying by. Thought I saw a piece of fuzz there. I guess not. So this color, definitely gonna take a few passes. Don't know that I'm gonna have to mix any of our hunter green into it. I guess we'll see. It's an option. if it comes to it. But we'll see. I might just simply need a few coats to at least get the splotches out. I mean, this color is not bad. Once you get it built up a little bit. But we'll worry about other mixes to it in a minute. Right now I just want to get this first pass in on this guy. Before we get too crazed about splotchy and coverage. And yes, these paints are showing their age with how gloopy and glompy and the gobs of paint that are starting to solidify in the bottle, and they're getting a little stringy, but they're still usable. And paint's a little expensive. I mean, not really. I mean, Apple Barrel's under $1 a bottle, or at least it had been the last time I seen it. I don't know what it's at right now. Might have been a year ago when I last price checked the Apple Barrel. But I don't want to throw out a bottle of paint just yet. If we can still get some life out of them. It doesn't seem quite fair. I have noticed with this particular brand that if the paint is still wet, that I grabbed this color and I'm not sure where else I wanted to put him. If the paint's still wet and you're coming in with more, you're just gonna pull up what's down instead of depositing more on top of it. Kind of have to wait for that particular layer to dry a bit more. Sometimes if you're just blending a color that's wet on there, that's not so much of an issue. It's really more about this particular brand being wet on top of wet. It doesn't work. If you're trying to layer it, put it that way. Doesn't necessarily like to layer all that much, at least on the beginning coats. And you can use whatever size paintbrush you want. I'm just using this small guy because I find it easier. It's a little more time consuming, but I just prefer using the smaller brushes. That's all it is. Though I will say this brush is a little softer than I normally go for. I usually prefer the ones that are a little bit more snappy, a little bit springier. So I'm not a huge fan of this particular set of brushes. But we're making them work. I could grab an older brush if it comes to it. And these get the job done. They're just not my favorite. And these might be better for watercolor. Potentially. Alright, so I'm just kind of working on getting base layers in on some of these guys. So I like this olive color, I do. It came out a little splotchy. So I'm going to come back in with the foliage. And I'm probably going to have to transition either to folk art or to apple barrel as these colors start to run out, because I can't get this brand any longer. So that is a shame, but maybe not. I kind of liked apple barrel. I think I definitely preferred them to this brand. But at the time I bought these, I couldn't really get apple barrel anywhere where I could pick out the colors. And we don't really have a dedicated art store around here. There's a couple in Florida, but we won't have time to stop. I'm not 100% sure of where they're at. And like our closest Michael's is a good 50 miles from here. So that's not exactly convenient. And I hate ordering paint online. But if I have to, I have to. I'll have to make a list of the colors as we run out of them. But let's see. Okay. Alright, I'll probably do one more pass on the olive here. Once that one dries. Now this was just the straight foliage green. Just so we can get an idea of the difference of this color when we don't have anything else down underneath of it. Okay. Keep forgetting I need to check on the chat because I don't have stream avatars running. Really wish I had recorded this guy from the beginning. Since I managed to freehand these flamingos. So I'll probably still come back and add some more colors to these other foliage leaves here, but just wanted to get our base color down first. Because that's kind of where I felt like we needed to be. Get the base coat in, let it dry, and then we'll come back at this guy with a bit more coloration. And then we'll get our details in order. So like up in here, we might need, actually this shade might need one more pass on it. Quite possibly. I'm looking at the leaves in here. It still looks a little thin, but we'll get there. Now I don't have that many different shades of green. I mean, I've got a couple. Alright, we've got this leaf green here. Let's get a little bit of that down here. If I can get the bottle open. Alright. Okay, now I'm gonna flip this boy again. Just keep my hand out of the way. And we'll start to get this one's base coat in. Thought I saw a fuzz in there. Guess not. Must have just been seeing things. Okay. So now just to fill in this section here. Like, I'm not looking for 100% perfect yet. Nothing will ever be 100% perfect. Just to get that clarified. But, I want to at least get our base pass through. So after I get this in, I can decide how I want to proceed here. So I did take that a little over the edge of our background color. Sort of accidentally, sort of not. I was trying to get that edge in there. So I'm gonna overlap it just a little. And there is a fuzz in there. Oh wait, no, it's not a fuzz. It's just a glumpy. Alright. And that piece in there. So I've got this flower that I kind of have overlapping. I don't know if you can really see the flower yet because we haven't gotten that far. But that's sitting up in here. That's what this untouched section of underpainting is, or will be. So right now I'm just trying to get a base pass down on our leaves here. So hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Haven't been outside since before we got started, but it was pretty gross when I stepped outside around 10. Then I stepped outside a little bit later, and I was just like, oh no. This is not it. So it looks like we might have our first hurricane of the season soon, by the end of the week, potentially. I'm a little nervous because it looks like it's gonna go right over the Keys. So hopefully there won't be too much damage. Although they tend to get things cleaned up pretty quickly. But It also depends on how much damage there is. I know when we went down in 2018, there was all sorts of damage still from, I think, Hurricane Irma. Just everywhere. Like through Big Pine Key and stuff. They were in the middle of demolishing some of the mobile home parks that just got destroyed. In fact, I think I remember us driving by a big ass boat just stuck sitting on the side of the road. Just trying to get this section of leaf filled in without my paintbrush taken off on me. Because that's not what we want. I mean, granted, this is still first pass on this color, but I also don't want to have to come back in and fix the sky. I mean, I will if I have to, but I'd rather not be in the position of needing to. Alright, I'm gonna have to pick this guy up here, because I can't see. Where we're all at here. Alright, so I'm going to turn this guy back around this way so that we can get a look-see over here. Well, this will probably be one of the more time-consuming aspects of this guy. Although the clouds took me forever, I was fighting with them so much. I got one to finally look fantastic. And then when I went to go do the other ones, I could not get my shit together. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope your day's going well. Stream Element seems to be lagging behind with the announcement. Because for a little bit it was posting it to chat. So that's interesting. Interesting, there we go, that it didn't. So I hope you are well. Thank you for the follow. Hope your day's going alright. We are just working on a flamingo painting. I've been working on this guy off and on for a little bit off stream, and I just realized I'm not going to have time to finish him if we don't shuffle him into stream. So that's what we're going to do. I doubt he'll be done today. What time is it? Super stoked to be able to watch your stream, being that you're painting with acrylic paint. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually using acrylic craft paint, of all things. So we're definitely doing this on a budget. So the most expensive thing was probably either the brushes or the canvas. But we're using like the equivalent of like Apple Barrel or Folk Art. So you can do stuff with those paints. I actually prefer them to the tubes of acrylic artist paint. They do take a little more fiddling with. Some of the shades are a bit more transparent than others, so it'll take a couple of coats to get it to where you want it to be. But it is possible. To get some results in there. So you don't have to use the high-end, super expensive artist grade tubes and stuff. I actually don't like some of the artist tubes because they dry. Not very many people stream using acrylic paint, and those that do don't talk in the streams. Wow, really? I didn't know that. Although I do see a lot of digital art. I've tried digital art. I don't like it. The husband does digital art when the mood strikes him, but I don't know. There's something about I need to physically touch it in order to be able to do anything with it. I just never could really wrap my mind around all the layers and doing it digitally. I don't know. There's just it's different when you're doing it by hand. Feels different, looks different. I don't know. But I've tried the artist tubes of acrylic paint. I don't like them so much. I might like the super matte ones, maybe from, who does it? I think Golden might have some super matte finish ones, but a lot of them dry like semi-glossy or glossy. And I don't like the shine. Like, putting the shine on when you put your sealer on it is one thing, because then you can control how shiny it is. But I can't handle the glare from the shine. So being able to watch someone like you stream using acrylic paint is a miracle and a blessing. Well, thank you. We do painting of some description on Saturdays. Sometimes I'm doing acrylic paint, sometimes I'm doing gouache. Only rarely do we touch watercolor, but it's usually acrylic. We just finished an acrylic painting that we were working on for a couple of weeks. That's going to be archived on the YouTube channel, where we made a farm themed little painting with some farm animals and then like the products that you could get from them behind them. That should be on my Nisey Paints playlist on the YouTube channel. I try to archive a lot of the live streams over there. Once in a while you'll see something that wasn't streamed pop up on the YouTube channel. Same name as here. NiseyBGN. There should be a link to it somewhere down below. I've really got to get either Moobot or Stream Elements to... I got to get around to a message to have all those pop up at once in the chat. But use Master's Touch and Liquitex from Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I was using... I shop at Hobby Lobby when I don't have a choice. And in our area, we really don't have a choice. It's them or Joann's if I need it today. Sometimes Walmart will come in, but they don't have a whole lot at Walmart. So I am using the Anita's acrylic paint. However, these are so old that Anita's doesn't exist anymore. Hobby Lobby bought out Anita's, and it's now, I think, from what I read, and it was a little while ago that I read this, that Hobby Lobby bought out Anita's, and then I don't know if they're putting their own house label on it, which they might be. I don't know if they changed any of the colors or not. I haven't really needed to replace any colors yet. I'm probably going to transition over to Apple Barrel or Folk Art. Because, you know, you gotta do stuff on a budget. Come on, paint. Or at least I do. Oh, don't squirt everywhere. Oh no, I've got like a plug of paint trying to come out here. You can tell that's how old these guys are. They're trying to solidify in the bottles, but gosh darn it, there's still wet paint in there and we're going to use it. I need to clean up this brush though, I just made a mess of it. But you know, I think Golden has super matte ones. Like I've tried, I have a couple of the Master's Touch big tubes. They're okay, but they dry a little shiny for me with the lights that I've got going. So sometimes I'm all squinty trying to see, although I'm squinty on a good day. Anyhow, but where was I going with this? But they're a little too shiny for me, and I keep coming back to these guys. Where do I want to go with you? Where do I want to go with you? Alright, we're gonna put you into here. You're very bright. And I don't know if I'm gonna leave you this solid color or if I'm gonna add to you. I'm thinking we're gonna add either the foliage green to this or maybe the spring green. Could add the hunter green into it to tone it down a little. I might add a little bit of yellow into that one. I've tried the Arteza acrylic paint. I have thoughts about Arteza. The stuff's nice. It doesn't, not all of their stuff fits my painting speed or style. Their gouache is fine. I like their gouache. And their watercolors aren't bad either. The acrylic paint, though, it's okay, but it dries funny. It dries in a way that I don't like. It's sticky. That's like the only way I can describe it, is how it dries is sticky. So like if I water it down a little bit to do a wash, or to do like my under painting swipe, if I'm gonna do a solid color underpainting, when I come back and I think it's dry, because it'll look dry, if I touch it, it feels like tacky, I guess. And then it'll have that glary shine to it. I have some of it. Sometimes I try to save that stuff for commission pieces when I get one. But then I was just trying to use it up so it didn't go to waste. And I tried to use it on one of the paintings we did before we did the farm themed one. And I just felt like I was fighting with it. So I was like, you know what? I did the underpainting with it just real quick, watered down. And it was so shiny. And it just felt sticky. I think once it was fully dried, like 24 hours later, it wasn't as sticky. But I need something that's going to dry quicker. Because I've got pets. I've got cats that are nosy. There's dog hair flying through the air. You know, I need something that's not going to take 500 years to dry. So, it's problematic for their acrylic paint for me. And then the real ass kicker is that it takes a little bit to dry. I mean, not too long on the canvas, but I'll put out the tiniest amount on the palette and it is skinning over and completely drying on the palette like within 10-15 minutes. And I'm like, I don't paint that fast. Like, I want something to be wet a little bit longer. I could probably get a stay wet palette and see if it stays wet longer. But I didn't like the acrylic paint enough to bother with that experiment from them. It's ready for you to be able to travel to professional, high-quality art supply stores in a big city such as Omaha or Lincoln, or you live in a very small town, so you don't get very many opportunities to travel or different art supplies other than Hobby Lobby and Walmart and Maynard's and Artsy Havens when the other ones. Sorry for a long message. Just no, you're fine. Like, it burns my ass to have to buy stuff from Hobby Lobby just because I don't really agree with their mentality for certain things regarding their employees, and some of the things they've done I don't really agree with it, and I normally wouldn't shop there if I had other options. And I'm not gonna give anybody a hard time if they love shopping there. You love shopping there? Hey, that's great. Also, if that's your only option, that's your only option. We have a Joann's, but it's small, and half the time they're out of stock on what I want. So I've kind of given up going there. We have Walmart. Walmart's starting to get a little bit more stuff. Art supply wise, a little bit. But I've had to go to Hobby Lobby to get like fake flowers, to do flower arrangements for my dad's grave, because my mom wanted stuff done to be put up there, and I'm like, alright, fine. So I'm not happy about it, but I'll go. And it also burns my ass that they've got like the largest selection of flamingo stuff in the spring. So the flamingo is our mascot and spirit animal around here. So it's like, half the time she buys it, so I don't feel as guilty getting it because she paid for it. But but you know, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, I used to work for a craft art supply store chain before they went out of business, back in New Jersey. And so I worked for a company called AC Moore. They were mostly on the East Coast, though they were slowly starting to branch out, and then they closed up shop several years after I left. Probably like 10 years after I left. Because the new owner kind of ran it into the ground. But so So I like all this kind of stuff. You've had a strange experience with Hobby Lobby yourself. Yeah, like, they've got the selection of... Well, some of their selection is good. Some of their selection's like, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. But, I think it's messed up that they won't scan anything at the register, that they make the employees type everything in. When I first started working, AC Moore was my first job in the craft industry, and my first job period, really. And we had to hand price everything. Now, I think at Hobby Lobby the stuff comes in pre-priced, so they don't have to do that. They can just throw it up on the shelves. But the employees at the register still have to hand type everything in, department and price point, which kind of bugs me because then you don't really get a good handle on what's selling. I mean, point of sale systems, scan systems have their faults. They can have the wrong price programmed in. They can glitch. Shit can go wrong. Computers. But at the same time, at least then you're getting a feel for what you're selling and how much, and from the merchandiser's standpoint. And then you know what you should order more of and stuff, because I was a merchandiser for 3 years, and then I was customer service supervisor for another 3 years. And, it's important things to have, but when you're just typing price points in, you don't really know what's selling well and what's not from, like, a warehouse buyer standpoint. But anyhow, it kills me that they have these employees have to hand type everything in. And I'm like, this would be so much faster for the customer experience. Because our Hobby Lobby's lines get real long. And they usually only have, like, one constant person on register, and then, which is usually their customer service person that's doing returns. And then they're constantly calling people up. I'm like, this would go so much faster if you just let the employees scan the shit. And people that say, oh, it doesn't have barcodes on it, that's bullshit. Paint had barcodes on it. A lot of the stuff has barcodes on it. Not everything, but a good portion of it does. But you prefer a store called Artsy Haven or Dick Blick or Blick Art? Yeah, I've seen Dick Blick website. I think I've perused their website from time to time. I bought some stuff recently from Jerry's Artorama. We don't have one of those anywhere near us. We do have a Michael's near us. Near us. Not exactly near us. It's like 50 miles from us. That's a bit of a drive just to pick up some art supplies, and the husband's not too keen on wanting to do that. And I don't blame him. It is a bit of a hike for us for just that. Unless I was planning on spending like $500 to $600, it wouldn't be worth going down there. And it would have to be a damn good sale. So, I mean, I've ordered from Michael's. It's just some stuff I want to pick out in person. Hobby Lobby. Yeah, that's another thing that kills me is the prices at Hobby Lobby. It's like, I don't want to shop there, but then the prices, I'm like, it's so much cheaper at Hobby Lobby. So, it's like, there's that constant war in my brain, and I'm like, how much is that? So I'm like, yeah, no, like, between Hobby Lobby and Joann's, Hobby Lobby was always the better price. And for a while I did kind of stop shopping there, but then it kind of got to the point where I couldn't get what I was looking for elsewhere. So I'm like, fuck. So now I was pulled back in. But you do what you gotta do for the art supplies. I was actually excited when I saw that Walmart was carrying more Arteza stuff. So now I have a third place where I can check the prices of Arteza to see Who's cheaper right now for this? Because some things I do get from Arteza. I like their wood rounds, their wood slices. I tend to buy a box every so often of their 4-inch wood branch slices. And I like their gouache. I've got their watercolors. They're not bad. I just don't really do much watercolor. It's one medium that's always intimidated me, which seems silly, but it does. I've never been in person to a Dick Blick or Jerry's or, you know, one of those. But I've worked in the equivalent. Like, Michael's was basically the equivalent of where I had worked with AC Moore. I loved and hated working there. There were some coworkers I could have done without, and there were some aspects of it that I could have greatly done without. But there were also parts of it where I loved it. Like, I loved seeing all the new stuff coming in. And I loved picking the merchandisers' brains for the other departments. I'm like, ooh, what's this? I hated the vendor shows because the store I worked in was the poster child for the chain. So everything had to be on point all the time. So that was a bit of a nightmare. Like, no holes. Everything's got to look fantastic. But, I've used Liquitex acrylics before. I like those, but the supplies are just so damn expensive. I did a little bit of Bob Ross style oil painting for a little bit, where we were following some of the tutorials, or I did some little mini canvases, the like 4-inch ones that had their own little easel, and then we did some on the wood circles, and I made magnets out of those. And they weren't really selling when I had my Etsy shop, so I kind of stepped aside from that because it's expensive, and I felt like my paint just wasn't the right consistency when I bought it. Because I was struggling to get the same results that Bob was. I'm like, I don't know about this. Like, my paint feels different. It feels too wet. But, so I kind of gave it up for a while, and then I kind of got rid of everything because the tube started leaking. I'm like, I'm probably not going to get back into this again. And I did an art giveaway. We had a bunch of art laying around of stuff that I did. Didn't really get any action on it from the Etsy store. And then I ended up shutting down Etsy because of Etsy getting a little too weird with their... I mean, I understand the need for the third-party verification that they had to go to, because apparently some people were doing unsavory things through their website, and they were getting fined for it because they weren't catching it. However, I don't understand why their third party is going to have to verify my bank account once a month, and the stuff they wanted, I wasn't going to give them to verify my bank account. I'm sorry. No. You're not getting my password for my bank account. I don't think so. And then people were like, well, just change your password after they verified it. Okay, but some people did, and then the company went to re-verify it the next month, and their Etsy shop was frozen because they couldn't re-verify it the next month because you changed the password. Now, I don't know if they've finally gotten that bullshit sorted. I don't know. But I wasn't really making any money on the Etsy shop anyway. I was throwing more money away with posting fees and stuff. So I had all this stuff that hadn't sold just laying around, and we were considering selling at the farmer's market in town, because I mean, we're in a small town. It was a farm town It was a full-on farm town at one point. It's not fully farm anymore. There are still some farms out here. There's still some cattle farms and some goat farms, and I think somebody might even have alpacas. But there's some goats and stuff. But it's transitioning more into suburb. And so I was like, well, we could try to sell at the farmer's market, see if we get any takers, but then we were gonna have to get the little dongle for our phone for credit card sales and stuff, and then I wasn't quite sure how to handle the whole sales tax aspect of it, and because I mean, when I sold on Etsy, they were supposed to take care of that for me, I believe, unless I misunderstood something. And we weren't sure if I was going to need a business license, because on the other places I was just selling under my social, because they said I could do that, or a business one, but for this we weren't sure. There was a whole lot of uncertainties, and there wasn't really anybody that was being very forthcoming with official answers, because, you know, I wanted to do it by the book. And so we just ended up deciding to put a tip jar out. I'm flipping this upside down so I can reach it better. So you bought a new multi-purpose easel from Dick Blick last weekend, and it cost in total $160 with taxes, and it would have to be the best ideal purchase I've ever made when shopping for quality easel. If only their stuff wasn't so damn expensive, because you prefer Dick Blick over... Yeah. Like, I actually caught a good sale on the acrylic, not the acrylic, the oil paint that I just rebought. Because we replaced all of my Bob Ross oil paints. I don't normally prefer oil, but cleanup's a little... But, I was looking on the Bob Ross site, and I was like, oh, these are expensive. But Jerry's was actually on sale, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, let's go here. And there was actually a problem with my Jerry's order, which, for the first time, I think that I've ordered from them, I wasn't real thrilled about. One of the large tubes of paint I ordered was missing entirely, and they doubled me up on a small tube of paint. And I'm like, I didn't need two of this color. And where's my big ass tube of paint that I just bought? Like, hello? So the husband had ordered it under his information. So when he got home, I was like, hey, we got a problem. So we called them. It was actually a person answered the phone. I think he had to go through a quick automated system, but he actually talked to somebody. And they're like, oh, really? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, I see your order. I have it. We'll get that tube of paint that's missing shipped out to you right away. And they didn't want the other tube back that they had missent me. And I was like, wow, I think another like 3 or 4 days, and I had the tube that was missing. Didn't hassle us about it. Didn't, read us the right act or anything. Didn't have to recharge us for it. So I was impressed. I was like, okay, that's not so bad. Those are kind of the same. I guess I should do them the same color. But I mean, an easel, a nice sturdy easel, is a good investment. I have a small tabletop one. It's not that great, but I have one. But I don't really use it that much, because what I'm doing, we're doing small, so it won't really fit on the easel. I mean, this one would, but a lot of times I'm doing mini paintings, so like the wood slices, they're like 4 inches. The mini canvases are like 4 inches. Or I'm doing stuff that has to be flat, like I've done tissue paper art. where we've painted with tissue paper. So I'll do I'll do a quick messy painting after I figure out what we're gonna paint with like the craft paint. It can be streaky, it doesn't matter, I just need the color down. And then I'll take tissue paper and I'll usually cut like 1-inch-ish squares on it, and then I'll roll it up into like a little snake piece, and I'll put tacky glue down, and then I'll just kind of glue it in the corresponding colors of where it belongs. And sometimes I'll do different shapes. I'll like roll it up and do like a little snail shell kind of shape, or like a little flower shape, just to get different textures and stuff in there. We haven't done one of those in a while, so we might do one of those at some point. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I do, I need it to be laying flat just because of what we're doing. Alright, so we're back over here. Wow, that leaf green got really dark, didn't it? Or the foliage green, rather. Alrighty, so I'm gonna clean my brush. So yeah, we did end up going to farmer's market, and instead of charging, we did an art giveaway. So I had a whole bunch of magnets that I painted. We had some needle felting from our needle felting streams where we were following Bob Ross doing that. And I had some of my mini canvases out, and we got rid of almost all of it, and I had a tip jar out, and I ended up making like $50 in tips. So I was like, hey, that's not bad for like a couple of hours. And no advertising that I was going to be there. What part of the world are you in? You're from Nebraska. Vast majority of the art stores worth going to are in Omaha and Lincoln. And that's like an hour and a half to 2 hours from your residence. So I'm in, currently, at the moment, I am in Arkansas. Northwestern Arkansas. So not that far. Omaha's about a 6-hour drive from us. Alright. What color do I want this to be? Let's see, let's grab some of our spring green here. So I was actually surprised I had, and our foliage green, let's see what these two look like. That's not bad. I was actually surprised I had made that much in tips. But it was also kind of fun watching kids walk up to the table with their parents, and the parents are like, wait a minute, and I'm like, no, it's free. They're like, it's free? I'm like, yeah. I think I made more with it and got rid of more stuff with it being free than if I had been charging for it. It felt like. And it was kind of fun watching kids come up to the table. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I had one kid that was just so excited. And then we were kind of getting beat up from the heat because we picked one of the hottest days to decide to do it. And we were about ready to go, and this one guy is like, well, you know, we have to leave some for others, because the one kid had been looking at one of the larger ones, and he couldn't decide which one he wanted. And the husband's like, you know what, just go ahead, it's fine. We're about done for the day anyway. He said to the dad, we're like, it's alright. But I grew up in New Jersey, and we had AC Moore, where I worked at for a while, and we had Michael's eventually. I think a Hobby Lobby moved into that area now. But I don't know how well how Michaels is doing against them. Like, I want to like Michaels more, but they are super expensive, so I do have to watch for their sales. I think our closest Michaels is in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And that's a bit of a drive for us, especially with traffic. It's not a super fun drive to head down that way. So we have to hop on the interstate, and it's a jaunt, shall we say. It's very much a jaunt. It would be an all-day affair. So it's not like, oh, I need one thing, let's run down there. No. But we've got Hobby Lobby out the wazoo. But I think their home office is in Oklahoma. So it's not that much of a surprise. Kind of like how Walmart is everywhere down here. I think I might add a little bit of yellow to this too. Alright, so I'm just kind of coming back and shading this. Sorry, I was checking the time. I had to take my glasses off. I didn't feel like fighting with them today. Yeah, I think we might add a little bit of yellow to this. So, I mean, it was fun doing the farmer's market. And the one guy that was handing out the registration forms for when people show up, he goes, oh, well, we'll see you next week. I'm like, no, I don't have enough stuff to come back next week. This is not going to be an all-the-time thing for us. But people were so in love with the oil painting magnets I had done. The husband's like, no, you should get back into it. So we just replaced all the oil paints, though I got smaller tubes on most of them. Last time I went all in and got the large tubes, but there's only a couple colors I've come to realize that I really need the large tubes on. But I did have to get a new palette, and I had to figure out my palette knife situation and a brush situation, because I don't have any small brushes that would really be suitable for oil paint. And we ended up picking out a couple, or at least a pack, from Hobby Lobby, but I'm not sure how I really feel about those brushes at the moment. I mean, they're okay, but I don't know. I was fighting with them the last time that I was painting with them a little bit. Alright, I'm just trying to mix a little bit of yellow into this. Yes, I know I'm a brush paint mixer. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's what we needed. Just to lighten up that olive color a bit. But yeah, I grew up in South Jersey, so I've got an interesting way I say words a lot. When I started working down here, one of the assistant store managers that I was working with, they were giving me a hard time over some of the words that I was saying. I'm like, what is the problem? I'm like, yeah. He goes, say this word. I'm like, this. And he's like, that is so funny. And I'm like, no. I'm like, how do you say it? I'm saying it the right way. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. Excuse me. Allergies. Yeah, life kind of happened, so we ended up here. Staying with family, so part of husband's family is from down here. I grew up in southern New Jersey. Husband grew up in New Hampshire. So this isn't really our temperature climate either. And it's been getting warmer. So him and I are potentially looking at seeing if we can relocate back east if the opportunity arrives, northeast. I'll tell you, growing up near the ocean I didn't grow up right on the ocean. I grew up in a town on the back bays of the barrier islands in South Jersey. Living here, where there's not really easy access to the ocean, has been tough. I miss being within a half-hour, 45-minute drive, depending on where you were headed, within, a beach. I'm not really a beach person, but I like the ocean. And we would go to the boardwalk all the time and stuff. Like, that was our cheap date, was going to the boardwalk. But we kind of lost that when we moved here, unfortunately. Alright, I'm just going to pull from the lid of this because I don't need that much. But I might see if we can end up somewhere closer to a different art store. Michael's is expensive, though. I will say that. They are pretty pricey. But if you catch a good sale, then, that's extremely helpful. Because I just caught, maybe a couple months ago, they were having, I don't watch TV much, and I caught an ad on TV that they were having a 70% off sale on a lot of their staples. I was like, So I looked up on the website, and I'm like, oh, hot damn, Canvas is 70% off. I was like, we gotta get in on this. I was like, do you understand? I said to the husband, how good of a sale this is. I don't care if I'm not gonna use it right away, or if it takes me a while to get through all of it. I am stocking up. So our background's this color, so trying to add a little bit of a shadowed edge on that might not work how I'm wanting it to. But I think I saw another ad floating around for them recently where they were doing another one of those 70 off guys, and I was like, oh, was like, I don't need any more canvas yet, but it's nice to see that that's something they tend to do. Alright, just kind of getting the gunk off the brush. It's starting to dry up near the ferrule. Okay, so let me come in with our other guy. I'm going to hit this with one pass of the straight olive. Now I might be doing, and I stress might, I might be doing a bonus stream tonight. Doing some oil painting. Maybe. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling after I make dinner for everybody. And how hot it is in this house at that point. Because it was pretty gross in our room last night. Which is where all of our equipment is. We've got us under a heat advisory. For the rest of the evening. So usually go to Hobby Lobby, although Artsy Haven is a bigger selection. More convenient, usually is everything you need. Yeah, I've never heard of Artsy Haven. I did kind of want to open my own art supply store at one point in the town that we're in, because it seems like there aren't that many art supply selections here, but it would all be small, and I was like, I don't think I can compete with other places. And then I kind of wanted to do a ceramic painting place here. I don't know the first thing about painting ceramics and firing them. You know, one of those places that you go and you pick out what you want, and then you paint it there, and then they fire it for you. Don't know the first thing about doing it, or kilns or any of that, but I was like, hey, that would be cool. Because our town gets a lot of traffic a couple times a year with antique junk events. That's one of the big things around here is people go antiquing and junk store hunting. And they have 2 events a year that usually draw a fair amount of people for it. You have an idea for me to try? It's something you learned from a streamer you were watching last night. Okay, I can't promise I'll be able to wrap my mind around it or that I'll do it, but go ahead, go for it. Let's see. Let's hear what the idea is. I'm willing to hear it. So this one's a little lighter, but these paints tend to dry a little darker, so that's okay. But we'll see. Tomorrow will be needle felting. We are slowly getting to the end of our needle felting along with Bob Ross tutorials. The idea amused me. It's been taking us a while to get through one specific season, but I've been enjoying it. we're getting to the end of episode 12 that we've been following along with, and then we only have 13 left. So that series is slowly getting wrapped up. So that leaf didn't come out quite as good, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay. Just gonna try to clean up the edge of this guy a little bit. Not too much. I just wanted a little bit of definition between those two. Okay. Alright, so that's not so bad. Okay, let me clean up this brush. Alright, now get this all degunkified. I'm just using a washcloth that has seen better days. I have another painting towel. I'm not sure where it is. I think it was like an old, I think that was also an old towel that we had gotten for our guinea pig cage that we didn't end up using. Okay. This is our, what color was this? Was this leaf or was it it was leaf. Okay. So we're going to come back into our leaf green here. And start to work on our second layer, cleaning this guy up a bit. Should add a merch shop to your Twitch streams so that your audience / viewers can type the word in the chat after someone anonymously donates a product from your art supply store website so that they can try winning some free stuff from your store website. Huh. Do you have the name or remember the name of the person that you saw did that? Because I would need to look more into it. That way I could get a better idea of what they were doing. Because I know there's a multitude of different sites and stuff. Miss Courtney Olivia. Okay. Well, I can look into it and see how they're doing it. This guy this shade definitely, or color, whatever you want to refer to it as, definitely needed a second coat before we get too far along on him. But, you know, we're not doing too bad. The tree branch kind of came out pretty good with our lighter colors on there. So these two leaves are done. The tree trunk is done. We're not going to be able to finish the foliage today. What the heck was that? Is that on my brush? Sorry, I saw a piece of fuzz move, and I wasn't sure if it was on the canvas or if it was in my brush, but I'm not seeing it when I hold it up to the light, so maybe I just imagined it. That's also possible. So tomorrow, well, tonight we might be doing an oil painting live stream. Maybe. Can't guarantee it's gonna happen. We don't always stream on Saturday night. Tomorrow afternoon we'll be back with needle felting, and that will be Sunday and Monday. Yeah, no, it's an interesting idea. I'm just not sure how all the inner workings of that are. I would just like to check out their channel and kind of see what they're using for it. So I will see about looking further into it. See if it's something that's feasible for us to do right now. We do have an Amazon wish list going. I have to check on that actually. I have to see what I've got up on there. I haven't checked in on it in a while. But yeah, so we'll be doing needle felting Sunday and Monday. Typical schedule for the channel is needle felting Monday. I'm dark on Tuesday and Wednesday because usually the husband is doing something with one of our friends. And then, you know, I need a couple days where I can catch up on video editing, or try to catch up on video editing, or other projects and stuff around the house and life nonsense, you know, gets in the way. You know, laundry, catching up on dishes, running errands, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm usually dark on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday we stream Coral Island. We stick some gaming fun into here. Friday we stream Planet Zoo. We're currently working on a children's zoo or another zoo that I spin a random wheel to see what we're going to build. I've got 2 zoos going at the moment. Yesterday we were in the children's zoo working on the entrance. We just started that one. Saturday we're usually painting or crafting of some description. It's been usually or mostly painting recently. And then Sunday we're back to needle felting. So we have 2 needle felting days back to back usually, providing I don't have a migraine and had to cancel, or life happening. Like we had to cancel last Thursday, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before that, because my mom wanted to go to the zoo, and the zoo was a 2-hour drive from us. So it's we have to leave the state to go to the zoo. I mean, we could go to the zoo here in Arkansas. The closest one I believe is Little Rock though, and we have not been to that zoo. But that's like a 3.5 to 4-hour drive for us, so it's actually closer and faster to drive to Tulsa, Oklahoma to go to the zoo there. There's supposedly a zoo in Springfield, Missouri. We haven't checked that one out yet though. That's about the same distance as the one in Tulsa. And then we will be away the end of September, beginning of October. Channel will be dark for about 2.5 weeks, roughly. Because we have to take my mom to go see my brother out of state for her birthday. And after we drop her off to see my brother, husband and I are gonna have a little vacation of our own with just the two of us for a few days. Got tickets to go to Flamingo. Hopefully we get to go. Hopefully a hurricane doesn't spoil the party. So we're gonna be going down to Key West, which is where we got married, so it's always exciting when we can go down there. It's where we had our first, we actually met online. I'm gonna date myself here. We met in an AOL chat room back in 1999. And we had our first vacation face to face with each other down there. So we thought it was only fitting that we got married down there. And they have a butterfly conservatory, greenhouse. All kinds of butterflies free flying in it. And they have 2 flamingos. And they have an after hours event that you can pay to get up close and personal with the 2 flamingos for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And we managed to snag tickets on this trip. I'm so excited. It's like, yes. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully a hurricane doesn't spoil the party. I don't like going during hurricane season. The one year we went in October near Halloween, like the week before Halloween. I was surprised we managed to get a hotel that we could afford for that trip, but the mother-in-law was with us and the dogs were with us, so it was a busy, stressful trip. We just came back end of January, beginning of February, being down there for like 3 days because we took my mom to see my brother. And she hadn't seen him in probably 5 or 6 years, and she was all upset about not seeing him again before she passes away, because my mom's in her 80s. So we took her down to see him, and so she was with us, so it wasn't really like a husband and wife vacation because we had other family with us. So I think it's our first vacation together alone since our honeymoon. And we got married in 2007. I don't count it as a real vacation with just the 2 of us when we've got other family members with us all sharing the same hotel room. So it's gonna be fun, providing there's no hurricanes. Because we're still kind of in the willy-nilly section of anything could happen. Hurricane season, the end of September, because technically the hurricane season isn't over until November 1st, but you never know. So we've got those 2 leaves done. This one got its second coat. We'll pick back up with this one next Saturday. Did you know that you can you won a free t-shirt last night from watching her stream and typing the word join in chat. And did you know that you earn money while streaming using Discord? You can literally start a business through Discord. You learned that from when you were trying to open a server for your YouTube artwork and Minecraft server. No, that I didn't know. That I did not know. We'll have to look into that and see what that's all about. Oh gosh, I haven't played Minecraft in a while. I'll have to dig my password out. I've got video editing I have to do right now, though. I can't fall down the Minecraft hole. Not right now. We've done a couple Minecraft streams where I haven't talked that much when my mic was being weird. Ow. But interesting. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us for today, because it's getting to be time that I have to go make dinner for myself and my mom and all that stuff. But we'll be back. Maybe watch Twitter or turn your notifications on here. And if we do a bonus stream tonight, I will post on Twitter that we're gonna go live. X, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. If I do a stream tonight, it's gonna be oil painting. Yeah, but if I don't stream tonight, then we'll be back tomorrow for needle felting. Sorry, my brain just stopped. It's getting hot in here already. So I will see everybody later. Thank you for the follow, Tommy. Good luck with your painting adventures. I am on Instagram. If you are, I'd be interested in seeing what you've got going. So feel free to follow me there, and I can follow you back if you're on there. And I will see everyone later. You guys have a good night. Stay cool, because it's toasty. And have a good one.